In this video, we're going to talk about 5 states that have seen a big increase in foreclosures and could be the place where you might want to turn to next to look for the best opportunities. We're going to cover not only which states are the ones that have the most foreclosures, but we're also going to cover how to buy some of those foreclosures, so you don't want to miss that. We're going to cover 4 of the top ones right now, and I'm going to leave the last one at the very end because that one I want to break down a little bit extra after I teach you guys how I do some research on these foreclosures. So let's get started with state number 5, not state number 1. So state number 5 is going to be Nevada. Good old Nevada, home of Las Vegas, where there was a humongous amount of foreclosures back in 2008, and it seems like we're getting back there. So I'm using a website that you guys are probably all familiar with called auction.com. What I like about auction.com is that they both showcase properties that are going to foreclosure and properties that are already bank owned that the bank wants to sell online. Okay, so combined between both avenues, there are 133 properties that are going for sale in Nevada. Now, let's flip through a couple of them and see if any of these catch my eye. As you can see here, these are selling right now between December 13th to December 15th. And let's see if we can find one that maybe has a reserve. Yeah, this one has a reserve. Let's click on this one. Now, if you're not familiar with what a reserve is, that's basically what the bank is willing to accept. So it says here, this property here at 3920 Counterway in North Las Vegas has a, right now, it looks like there is an opening bid of $245,000. So the reserve amount is here. It's disguised under estimated credit bid. So if you click on it, it says this is the estimated amount that the lender will bid at the sale. Buyers will have to bid above this amount to purchase at auction. Now, this property is a foreclosure sale, which means that it is going to be sold in person. It's not owned by the bank yet. It's in the process of being taken back. So this is what some people call a trustee or a sheriff sale. That's what this one's going to be. So with this one, is this one that you may want to take a look at? Who knows? I'm just giving you guys an example here. $310,000 is more or less what the bank's going to look for. Estimated resale value at $400,000. Maybe. It looks pretty good. There's 5 pictures here to take a look at. I don't know too much about Las Vegas, but given the fact that you do have a decent spread here, maybe one you may want to keep on the radar. Now, the next state that we're going to talk about is South Carolina. Now, the South has always been notorious for having a high number of foreclosures. South Carolina, believe it or not, is a state that a lot of people are moving to. So it is kind of unfortunate that they're having so many foreclosures. Foreclosure rate. I'm going to explain the difference later between high number of foreclosures and a high foreclosure rate. As you can see here, there's 127 properties in South Carolina. All right, so we're clicking here on this one, 2422 West Bryant Street. This is bank owned. Their opening bid is $25,000. They're asking for $124,000. Now, the opening bid doesn't mean that that's what the bank is going to look for. That's just a nominal number that they start at. Their reserve on this one is not disclosed, so we don't know how high the bank is willing to go. But when these sales are being conducted on the auction.com website, because that's where this one's going to go down, the asset manager, which is auction.com, they will bid you up until the reserve is met. So if you're ever in the market for one of these, that's probably what you're going to have to do. All right, now let's take a look at the next state, which is New Jersey. This is my home state maybe not home state, but where I spent a lot of my life, about 35 years. And as you can see, we have 539 properties in New Jersey that are right now either on their way to foreclosure or have already been foreclosed that are disclosed on auction.com's websites. Now, auction.com does not cover every single property that's owned by banks. They just cover a fraction of them. There are many other websites that also do auctions after they've been repossessed by the bank. If you guys want to learn more about those, I do have a program with a link down below for a 30% discount where you guys can learn all about this stuff. But let's continue here and I'll talk more about that later. As you can see here, there is a property. I think I might have even sold this property at one time, 1061 Magnolia Avenue. Let's check out this one. This is going to be a foreclosure sale, so this is going to auction. 1061, this is one of those kind of cookie cutter 2-family homes that have found their way on the auction block here, and it looks like the property, according to them, it's worth about $451,000. Prices have come down a lot in Elizabeth, so I don't think that's going to be correct. But the good thing to know is that, hey, this property may go for sale, and unfortunately, the banks do not disclose what they're going to offer ahead of time in New Jersey, but there are ways of figuring out more or less what the bank will take. So with this one, I would definitely keep this one on the radar, do the research. Obviously, it's going to come with tenants, and with tenants, you got to be very careful because you have to respect their lease. If they have a lease, you got to honor it. If it's the owner living there, well, the owner has to get out, and we have to use what's called a writ of possession in order to get them out. So New Jersey is number 3. Now let's look at number 2. Number 2 is Delaware. Believe it or not, Delaware. But there's only 25 properties in Delaware. Well, I guess now is a good time to kind of explain to you the difference between the foreclosure rate and the number of foreclosures. Well, the foreclosure rate is the amount of homes that are going into foreclosure compared to the amount of homes that are available in the entire state. So Delaware, being a small state, they have 25 foreclosures that are being recorded right now. Then that means that it doesn't have that many, but it's a high rate. Now, for example, the state with the highest number of foreclosures is California. But California is not on our list because California is such a huge state and has so many homes that even though they have the highest foreclosure number, their rate is actually lower compared to the other states with lower amount of housing available. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Well, let's take a quick look at Delaware and see if there's any deals to be had here. All right, let's see if anything catches my eye, something that looks pretty. This one looks not bad. Okay. All right, this one here is bank owned, which I like because, well, not that I like, I'd take either one, but bank owned means that, I can possibly pick it up with no liens on it and nothing else that I have to be worried about. Because when you buy a sheriff's sale or a trustee sale, there could be some hidden fees and hidden expenses that you guys don't know about. But with this one here, we're looking at 13 Leslie Lane in Penn Acres, Newcastle, Delaware. This property looks pretty nice, 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Definitely something I'd want to take a look at. They do not have an estimated resale value, which means the ARV or what it's worth after repairs or in its current value, but I would do that manually myself anyway. That's something that I teach all my students how to do because it's the most important part of the entire due diligence process. Can I make money with this deal, or am I going to fall flat on my face by overpaying? Now, the opening bid is going to be $175,000, which means, again, not what the bank's looking for, but where they're going to start the bidding at. And something like this has 16 pictures, which leads me to believe that it's probably vacant. So let's see. Terrible pictures, though, for sure. Sorry if you're the real estate agent watching this. Okay, looks like the bank has already cleaned it up and done a little bit of work on the inside. That's fresh carpet, and the kitchen's not in a bad shape. So something like this, I can probably guesstimate that I'm probably going to have to bid close to its value right now. So for an investor that's looking to fix and flip, this may not be the best one, but if you're a long-term investor and you're looking to rent these properties out, something like this could definitely make sense. All right, so now, as promised, I wanted to talk to you guys about the 3 different types of ways you can pick these properties up. So the first way you can buy one of these properties is through the short sale process. So if you see a property that's going through foreclosure, the first thing you want to do is you want to find data on where those properties are or where they're located in the state that you live in or in the state that you want to invest in. Now, there's many ways to do this, and there's many sites you can utilize, but I found that PropStream is actually one of the most efficient ones to use. So all you have to do here is just basically pick either the state, the city, or the county in which you're looking for properties, and it pulls up all the information. So let me show you how easy it is. I'm going to pull up Fort Myers, Florida, and as you can see, there are right now, it gives you a bunch of information, but the only thing I'm looking for is pre-foreclosures. Pre-foreclosures to me specify that the home is going into foreclosure, it hasn't foreclosed yet, but the properties are eligible for what is called a short sale. Now, short sales basically means that you're asking the bank to take less than what they're owed. And the reason why banks want to do that is because they don't want to carry it through a foreclosure most times because it could cost them more money. If they can get the same amount of money for it now, they'd much rather just cut their losses instead of having to take it back, go through the whole process of getting attorneys involved, winterizing, or maybe securing the property and then paying a real estate agent to offload the property when they could simply just get rid of it now. Now, some states are easier to get short sales done because they're what called judicial states, which means they have to go through the court process, which takes them a lot more time. And some states are not. Some states are non-judicial states, which means they just go through a trustee and the process is very quick, which doesn't really leave you a lot of time to do short sales. So short sales may not be the best option in your state unless you catch them very quickly. So for instance, here we're finding out that we have about 215 pre-foreclosure opportunities, and really all you need is 1 or 2. You don't need to have all 215 properties say yes to you. Now, this is a good way for you to find that information. And once you have that information, what you do with it is up to you, whether you send them a mailing campaign or whether you decide to call them if they're not on the do not call list. All these things you can exercise, or maybe even knock and talk. You know, sometimes if it's not a state where they're going to shoot you if you step on their lawn, maybe that's an option that you guys take up. Okay, so next we're going to talk about foreclosure sales, sheriff sales, or trustee sales. You could name it what you want, but it's basically all the same thing, which means that the bank is trying to get the collateral back and get the property back in their hands through one means or another. So the way that it's done traditionally is it's either sold at the sheriff's sale, which is conducted by the county, or it's sold by a trustee. So however it works in your state, and you can pretty much figure out where your state lands by just Googling the foreclosure laws in your state, or you could put the name of your state and judicial or non-judicial foreclosure, and then you'll find out what your state qualifies under. If it's a judicial state, I'm going to show you how we do it. Well, the way you could basically do it, it's different for every county, obviously, but you would go to your county's website like I am right now. All right, so as you can see, there's a bunch of dates that came up. Looks like my sales are on Thursdays of every week, with the exception of this gap here because of the holiday. But let's take a look at here. We found that there's one going for sale. And what we do is click on the information, and then we just start to do the research. Now, with these properties, a lot of times you do not know what the bank is going to accept, but we can do our research to figure out what the bank is owed. And if you want to learn how to do that, well, jump into our program, which I'm still offering a 30% discount up until the end of the year. If you guys want to find out how to get your hands on properties just like this, I already have students lining up to get in line with the coaching program, which is only 10 spots left, 9 left as of yesterday. So please let me know if you guys are interested in by hitting that link down below. All right, so let's continue now. And if this was a property that I'd be interested in, the first thing I would do is obviously find out the address, because with these court filings, a lot of times they don't even show you the address. They show you docket numbers. They show you who the plaintiff is and who the defendant is. You know, so there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of lingo that you're going to have to learn and to wrap your head around how to do these foreclosure sales. But at the end of the day, I will tell you guys, these are probably some of the most profitable deals that you'll ever see. So if this is something you're interested in, remember, use the link down below. Next, I want to talk to you guys about, all right, the bank's already taken care of it. The bank owns the property. Now what do? The bank has what's called an REO, or a real estate owned. It's a bank-owned property, which means the property already went through foreclosure. Nobody bought it at sheriff's sale, either because the bank was asking for too much at the sheriff's sale, or it just slipped through the cracks. Whatever reason, the bank has it back in its possession. So with that being said, what the banks do now is they give it to either a real estate agent or an auction house. And when it's given to a real estate agent, a lot of times the real estate agents actually end up putting them on the auction houses. So it's a combination of both. So if you're a real estate agent and you have a client that's looking for an investment property, a good place to look would be sites like auction.com. And there's literally about 4 or 5 more that I've utilized in my career in order to get properties for both myself and my clients. So if that's something I want to do, let's just say I do want to buy a property now that's been foreclosed. What are the advantages of that? Well, one of the advantages of that is that you're going to get clean title, which means that you don't have to worry about extra liens. You don't have to worry about unpaid HOA or taxes or anything like that. You're getting a clean slate, right? That's a good thing, but you're going to be paying a little bit of a premium unless you don't have any competition. Sometimes there's properties that actually you get great deals on. I've gotten some fantastic deals because the banks have mispriced these properties. Now, that's a little bit more seldomly found nowadays, but there's still opportunities there. So with that being said, I'm going to utilize the last state, which is Illinois. Illinois is the state with the highest foreclosure rate in the entire country. Let's just say I wanted to buy a property online through REO methods, REO being bank owned. If I wanted to do that, what is the process? Well, let's go ahead and pick out a property first. All right, so let's just see. Okay, let's go ahead and pick up this one. Oh, we're gonna check this one out. So this one, it's got a reserve amount of $109,000. We don't know what it's worth, so I'd have to do that research on my own. And if I do the research and I find that this is a property that I want to purchase, the first thing I'd want to do then is obviously figure out are there any extra expenses or any hidden fees. So with this one, it's vacant, which is good. I'm going to keep looking here, and it's going to say buyer's premium is not applicable. So that means that I don't have to pay anything else other than what I pick it up for. Okay, so whatever I pay for it, that's what I pay for. There's no extra fee that auction.com is charging me. Unfortunately, it says interior access is not available. So that means I'm going to have to buy this property cash or with hard money that doesn't require an appraisal. Okay, and if I'm a real estate agent, unfortunately, this is not paying me out a commission. So as a property, I probably have to get my investor to give me a commission on. All right, so now that we know that, we just want to register for the auction by clicking here. The process literally takes minutes. It's not hard to do at all. And fortunately, you don't even have to give a deposit to start bidding on these properties. In the past, you did have to give up to a $2,500 deposit to make you a bidder, but now they've actually taken that requirement off, so you can go ahead and just do the bidding and just hopefully you get that property if you're the highest bidder. Now, if you guys want to figure out, hey, does this property make sense? Does it make sense for me to buy it because maybe it's too much? Maybe they're asking for way too much. How do I find the comps, and how do I break down the numbers to make sure that I'm going to be profitable? Well, if you want to find out how to do that, then check out this video over here. I'll see you guys over there in just a few seconds. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I will see you next time.